I remember the day I decided to stop, when I said, what am I doing? Don't I love myself enough to not do this?
Well, my name's Ashley Bickford. I'm 29 years old, and I was born and raised in Wappingers Falls. I have 3 brothers, 2 of whom have been in and out of prison a lot. And yeah, I guess this is my story. My mom and my dad had me when they were really young. My mom was only 16, so she was a very young mom. She obviously wasn't ready. So my dad was an alcoholic, even when he was 18. So I didn't know him actually at all. And my mom was just my grandpa, until my grandma passed away when I was 3. So they were my main caregivers, and then it was just really, really difficult when my grandma passed away. During that time, my mom met my stepdad, which was very difficult for me because I didn't like that idea. That was my mom, but she was only 20 years old when, they met. So for me, it was really difficult, especially since he had 3 sons of his own. So it's kind of like a Brady Bunch in a way, where it was kind of 2 families that kind of melded together. It was kind of all of us, and it was not always fun. I would say probably 9 times out of 10, somebody was fighting. Growing up was it was kind of you defend yourself. My mom would never stick up for me. My stepdad was verbally, physically abusive, not just to me, but his sons. So I guess fast forward a few years, we would go into school. Sometimes my brothers would have bruises. CPS would call. They would come to Kinnery Road all the time. We would be pulled out of class. CPS would talk to us in the principal's office, asking if we were okay. School was really difficult for me. I didn't really have many friends. My brother would constantly make fun of me because of my weight, my legs. They called me Thunder Thighs, Cow. And his friends would gang in on it. It would just be really, really terrible. My stepdad used to say the same thing. He would just say really, just kind of not nice things, and it made me feel like shit, and it wasn't fun. I never had my door unlocked to my room. And with that, it was kind of developed, well, I just didn't have any control over everything. My life wasn't mine. I didn't have opinions. Opinions didn't matter in my house. So it then developed into, during this, an eating disorder, because I felt like I didn't have control of my life. I could control my eating disorder. I could control when I decide to throw up. I can control when I ate, or if I ate too much, well, then I'll fix it. And I did. I had it for about almost 4.5 years. And that's what I did. I lost a tremendous amount of weight. I gained a tremendous amount of weight, and it was a roller coaster. I went from, almost 150 pounds all the way down to almost probably a little over 100, way back up again, and it wasn't consistent, but I didn't care. I didn't care because it was my act of defiancy towards the people that hurt me in my life. If I could say something to a girl that was my age when I was going through this, is that you can get through it. I mean, I get how bad things may seem at the time, that you want to lash out. I get it, but you can do it. Like, it's really not worth it. It's not worth your mental state. It's just not worth what you're gonna put yourself through, and not just during that time, but for years after. Didn't have my eating disorder. It's been my 5th year this year, and that's why I got my tattoo, and it's with me every single day. I have my good days and I have my bad days, but it does stay with you. And it's really, I was just asked, please just don't do it. It's not worth it. I wish if I could go back in time, I would, I don't know what I would have, I wouldn't have done that, knowing what I know now. You know, you're stronger than you think you are. My recovery was, it was difficult. I remember the day I decided to stop. When I said, what am I doing? Don't I love myself enough to not do this? And I think that's what really hit me, is like loving yourself enough to, and respecting yourself enough to say no. Like, I'm enough. I should be enough. And it was that, you know, that was my first kind of aha moment. I was listening to some person, I forget who it was, but when they said, you know, like loving yourself enough, respecting, it's all about, you know, like just being the best you can be. And I wasn't even being the best. I don't know what I was doing. Nothing. But my steps to recovery were, you know, actually eating that first meal till I was satisfied. I didn't overstuff myself, and still thinking, I need to throw this up. And that's all was going through my mind. And I was like, no, I'm not going to. And it was like that mental battle where I wanted to so bad. It was like I craved it. To not was my first step. My second step was I needed to get my eating under control, which is funny because I've been, you know, in that fitness world, or whatever you want to call it, for 10 years. When I was going through bulimia, I was going to the gym, fighting through the gym, through my workouts, still throwing up, even though I needed that food to nourish me, energize me for the rest of that day and the next day. Not even eating, you know, I wasn't eating bad. I didn't even eat really that terrible before. But I thought if I had a sliced pizza, it was the end of the world. I was, you know, it was terrible. Like, I would say, in my mind, I would say the worst things to myself that you could have, like, things I would never say to even, you know, my worst enemy, even somebody that I may not like that much. I would never say anything like that to somebody. I couldn't. But I said it to myself just fine. I began to see somebody. I went at once every 2 weeks because I was like, I don't know, like, I didn't want to open up to somebody. So the first few sessions was like, I was like a wall. I didn't talk really. And then I started to slowly open up. Then, you know, twice a month became to 4 times a month, and then I would be there, you know, twice a week. And that really helped out, you know, kind of dig down to why did I do that. It was all about control. It was about control, especially from my parents. Like, you know, you didn't want to do this to me, or you know, didn't want, you know, especially my mom. You didn't love me. Like, was I not a good daughter? I had good grades. I did everything that you asked me to do. I played soccer in high school when I didn't want to at all. You know, I felt like I did everything to please my mom, not myself. It was my first steps, and then it just started getting easier. Just getting into that routine where, yep, this is what I'm eating. This is okay, you know, I'm okay, you know, I'm fine, I love myself, I forgive myself. 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 I would say that all the time. And that was a big process in my healing. Every year became easier. Did I still think about it, or do I still have that, I guess, body dysmorphia to a degree? I would say, yeah, probably. I know I do. But it gets easier every day. And it's just kind of, you know, being happy with me, with who I am. You know, I am okay to admit certain things about myself. I know I'm stubborn. It's just who I am. You know, out of all the things I try to do now, is you know, like I said, I love myself, I forgive myself, and I try to be kind to others as much as possible. Honestly, I just,
if somebody watches it and and they can look in the mirror and just say, don't I love myself enough? Because you're worth it. You are enough the way you are. That would be my biggest hope for somebody, women, men, whoever they go through it. It's not just the women that go through it. And that's what I would hope, is that, just to look in the mirror and say, I'm enough the way I am. You're not going to fit in a mold. You're not going to be, you are who you are, and that's great. That's awesome. That's what I would hope for you to be. Don't be somebody who looks like the cover of the magazine. Photographers, we know Photoshop. Shit ain't real. I guess growing out of that mentality of me having to fight through everything is something I work on every day. But yeah, it's been a rough road, and like I said, it's not a crazy story, but it is mine.